know your worth. There's a proverb that says, like a gold ring in a pig's snout is a beautiful woman without good sense. Proverbs 11:22. You know, when I see that proverb, two things jumped out at me. The first was the gold ring in the pig's snout. The precious jewel, it doesn't belong in the pig. The pig doesn't see the value and will treat the piece of jewelry as if it was nothing, not even there. When you look at the pig, you don't even see the beautiful gem. You see a pig with a ring in its nose. Have you ever been with someone that didn't see your value, didn't appreciate who you were? All they did was take from you. And as they took from you, they couldn't even value what they took from you. That's what happens when you take something valuable and give it away. When people start seeing you, they don't see the jewel that you really are. They see the valueless person that has been taken from you. The other thing that jumped out at me was the beautiful woman without sense. Now, you're like, did he just say I didn't have common sense? Or I don't have any sense? No, in no means am I meaning that at all. But when I looked up the definition of sense, it said to be aware. So to read that in its proper context, it was like a beautiful woman who was not aware of her worth. So look at that again. Like a gold ring in a pig's snout is a beautiful woman who is not aware of her value. You need to know your worth. When you don't, what happens is you settle for less. What happens is you end up giving and giving and giving to all the wrong people, and you're allowing all the wrong people to give and take and take and take. And sometimes what they deposit in you is not even worth what you gave out. You know, a great way to give a better picture of that is a story that we share with our children. And I'm going to give you a different perspective about it. It's the story of Cinderella. Now, we tell that as a bedtime story to our kids, but I want to challenge you to see it a different way. We know the main characters of Cinderella. There are 5 main characters that I want to talk to you about today. Well, let's think of them. What are the first characters that come to your mind? Of course, there's Cinderella. There's the stepmother. There's her evil stepsisters. Who else is there? There's the fairy godmother. And there's the prince. But I'm going to change the order up. I'm going to talk about the fairy godmother. I'm going to talk about their evil stepmother, the stepsisters, the fairy godmother, the prince, and our girl, Cindi. And there's some lessons that we can walk away, that even in our age of growing older, we can still walk away and see it a little differently. Here's the first lesson of value that I learned just from the relationship with the evil stepmother. The evil stepmother's relationship with Cindi was all you ever heard her say about from the beginning of the movie down to the end of the movie was that, Cindi, you're not worth anything. Cindi, you'll never be anything. Cindi, you're not good enough to be at this caliber of relations, or you're not good enough to be in this social situation. And the lesson that I learned from the evil stepmother was you have to watch who you allow to speak into your life. Watch who you allow to pour into you. People say sticks and stones may break my bones, but names and words will never hurt me. And that is such a lie, because words have lasting effects. You have to watch the people that you allow in your circle that are telling you all that you could not be. You have a dream and you're bold enough to say, I want to be a musician. I want to be an artist. I want to be a doctor. I want to be a lawyer. And then immediately you have those people who are telling you, you don't come from that environment. Our families never did that. And you're not worth that. You'll never be able to accomplish that. And those are the people that you have to watch out for. And let me give you a piece of insight. Most of the time, those people are the closest people to you. You have to guard your environment, guard your heart, value who you are, and watch who you allow to speak into you. The second relationship that we have to worry about was the evil stepsisters. And again, the challenge is you have to watch who you spend your time around. You have to protect who you allow in your circle. Because the stepsisters were just as bad as the stepmother. And sometimes what happens is when people are miserable with themselves, they will try to bring their misery and put their misery on you. You have to guard your world and guard your relationships, because who you allow to influence you, who you allow to be coming into your life is who you are going to most likely become, or who you reflect. So you want to be around people that have something that value who you are and value your relationship. So it's time for us to take some introspection and look at ourselves and say, who do I have in my circle? Are they adding value or taking from me? And the things that they're adding to me, do they measure up to the treasure and the value of who I am? The third relationship was the fairy godmother. Now, I love the fairy godmother. The lesson I learned from the fairy godmother was you have to embrace those that see the value of who you are. Embrace those that are not only willing to love you for who you are, but are willing to sow into your life and build you up. And not only build you up with words, but sometimes they will build you up with value. The fairy godmother basically changed everything on the outside of Cinderella, gave her a fancy ride, gave her new clothes, gave her the bling, the jewelry that fit the station of where she was going to. And you know what? Cinderella was worth every bit of the attention that the fairy godmother gave to her. And I'm sure there are people that are in your area and that are in your relationships that do value you, but do you spend more time with the people that value you, or do you spend more time trying to win the favor of those that don't care for you, those that don't think you can even fit into their situation? We have to embrace the relationships that are loving, embrace the relationships that are building us up, because those are the relationships that help you get to the next level. The next relationship is the prince. And the prince, from a male point of view, people that when a prince finds his Cindi, you frustrate us. Because what's coming out and what attracted the prince to Cindi was he was able to see Cindi from the inside out. And the problem was that Cindi could not see the real value within herself. So the prince was trying to pursue Cindi, but Cindi yet didn't have the revelation of who she was. But he was willing to pursue her. Find those relationships that are close, that are willing to look at you for who you really are, and not only love you and build you up, but are willing to pursue you in the process of your discovery. That's the lesson I learned from the prince. Lastly, there's our star player, Cindi. And you know what? Cindi was important because in the struggle, it kind of like didn't hit her until the end of the movie. Cindi had to find the value within herself. Cindi had to realize that she was beautiful, not only at the end of the story, but she was beautiful in the beginning and the middle and the end. It wasn't Cindy's outward look that was going. It wasn't the silver slipper that was the defining factor for the prince. I believe that a size 6 slipper is going to fit on a size 6 foot. And I'm sure out of all the women in the kingdom, there were some women that fit the slipper. But what the prince was looking for was not the connection of the beauty of Cindi that was on the outside, but the beauty and the character of Cindi that was on the inside. And Cindi had to realize that even in her tattered clothes, in her lowly station, she was worth more than all she had on at the ball. Cindi had to break her perception of how she saw herself. Otherwise, she would have been with the prince at a devalued state. So what am I saying from all this? I'm saying that it's important for you to know your worth. And in the process of knowing your worth, you gotta protect who you pour into. Protect yourself from those that take from you. Embrace those who value you. Love those that love and pursue and see you for who you are. But most importantly, you need to love and value the person who you are yourself. You need to know your worth so you don't sell out for less than your worth.